Hey there, welcome to Life on Lilac. My name is Anna and I'm going to take you around today and do gardening chores. I like to do my watering of containers on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the summer. If I need something fertilized, that happens on Friday. I am super forgetful, so I like to give myself reminders. Watering on Wednesdays for houseplants, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for everything outside in containers, and then F is for fertilizing on Fridays. Up here I have some sunflowers that I'm growing from seed. Last year all my sunflowers got eaten by a rabbit or something. I didn't get a single flower even though I planted dozens. So hopefully this year that won't be the case. And then this is a mammoth sunflower. All 9 of them are growing, which is amazing. And those are gonna go in my vegetable garden. And then all of these pumpkins you can see, I don't know if any of them are gonna sprout. I did 13 different kinds that I saved from last year. It was actually an insanely disgusting project because I let them turn rotten over the winter. So if they sprout, wonderful. If they don't, I'll find other pumpkin seeds to plant. Here we've got some new plants from my favorite greenhouse, Vite. Some of these are to pretty up some areas that I worked on last year. We've got more petunias. I love petunias, geraniums. I only got 2 marigolds. And the reason is I just needed to fill this flat because back here we've got all kinds of different vegetables. And a whole flat of vegetables at this place is only $15. So I like to fill up a flat whenever possible. These 6 plants going up the porch are all lilacs. We actually had an amazing thing happen. A woman who used to live here when she was a child and into young adulthood, she came and visited us, kind of told us a little bit about her family and how long they spent here, the things that they had done to the property and to the house. And we just hit it off. She's a beekeeper in North Carolina now. She saw our bee boxes that we're getting ready to start working, or at least clean out and set up. I don't know if we'll get bees this year or next year, probably next year. But she left us a gift on our porch when we were not home before she went back to North Carolina. All 6 of these lilacs, from the 6 of them in her family to the 6 of us in our family. They're all different. She said there used to be a lilac hedge on the back of the property, and she wanted to help start a new one. She wasn't like manipulating me with this. I said, "Oh my gosh, I wish there was still a lilac hedge." And I told her that I had been planting a lilac every year since we moved here. And so she just gave me 6 years. 6 years ahead of time. So fun. These are poppies. Look at this monster down here about to open. You see the pink on the side there? These are going to be so incredible when they open. We just finished rebuilding, sort of, about as fake of a rebuild as you can get, but rebuilding the porch. We only replaced the worst boards, and then we are working on painting the rest of it so that it doesn't rot even more. That wasn't something that we had money for this year to replace, so we just said let's get as good as we can. Here we've got some tomatoes and basil and rosemary that I need to plant out in the garden. I showed you a little while ago how weedy and horrible our garden is. Well, it's not anymore. My mother-in-law came to visit for Ethan's graduation, and she spent all of her free time weeding the vegetable garden, and it is completely clear in those areas that I showed the other day. This is the last few minutes of cool. I think today it's going to be fully sunny, 88 degrees, which up here I know I'm from Texas. We get hundreds. I know my family is already experiencing 3-digit temperatures right now. But up here, the humidity is so high, I'm telling you, it's not as unbearable as 3-digit temperatures, but it's plenty uncomfortable. So I will continue to work on things maybe later this evening when the sun goes down. Up here also, our days are really long in the summer. We have super short days in the winter, super long days in the summer. Sometimes the sun doesn't even go down till 10 or 10:30 right in the middle of summer. So there's plenty of time at the end of the day to get stuff done and get tired and feel accomplished. So there's lots to keep us busy in the house while we wait for nicer weather. Anyway, I'm really glad you're here. We've been at this house now going on 3 years. We're going to have our 3rd anniversary on July 5th. And that means that this summer is actually our 4th summer. So our 4th growing season since we moved here. We moved in July the first year. We really didn't plant anything, but I did clean some things out. There had been areas on the property that had been super neglected. That's when I started killing the poison ivy, because poison ivy was growing here like an ornamental. I think all I grew that year was a few herbs and a couple of tomatoes that were super on sale at the end of the season. But our growing season, it was really, at the most, it's like mid-April, and that's not within our safe zone. But mid-April, you can start putting things out to about late October is when you kind of have to clean up the garden and get everything that you don't want frozen. So it's a pretty short growing season. This is our 4th one, and we've worked really hard to establish some landscaping areas and keep them weeded and mulched and looking pretty, so that year after year, hopefully we have to do a little bit less or there will be fewer areas that need major overhauls the farther in we get. So we're really excited about this growing season. We're really excited to start season 4 with you watching with us. Okay, so it took till 7:30 tonight for me to get back outside, but I am going to spend a little while doing some mulching. We're 1 truck down, but luckily my son Ethan has a truck, and he filled it up with mulch for me, and so I'm going to take it to the front and mulch the creeping phlox that I put in last year. is going down fast. You can see over there. And tomorrow, I guess I'll finish this. But this is about as long as I can work in 85-degree high humidity. This side looks great. The lavender that I pruned last year looks completely different with mulch around it. It looks almost tidy. And then the creeping phlox all the way down. This has brought me so much joy this spring. And now the last thing I've got to do is go water my vegetable garden. We are supposed to get some rain tonight, but I've learned in almost 3 years of living here that the weather forecast is not always accurate, and it's better to be safe than sorry. So let me finish that. There's Shug. Hi, Shug. She wants to be in every video I make now. Hi, pretty girl. Yeah, you're my partner, aren't you? Keeping my garden free from pests. Yeah, you're a good girl. Okay, I said I was gonna leave you here, but there's something I've gotta show you, and then I've gotta run inside and show Eli, because he and I planted our own gardens, our own separate gardens. This is his right here, and then this is mine. They have the same things planted. He weeded it himself, picked out what he wanted to plant. He's going for fast turnaround crops mostly. He's got radishes, 2 different kinds of radishes. We all really love French breakfast radishes, the best. But he's got, I think, a red sparkler in there too. Some shelling peas right here. These are bushing type. And some carrots, which actually came up. I'm very impressed. And some potatoes. And then I have everything that he has except for potatoes. So I've got a few more of each type. Excuse me, little one. No digging, please. But I've got to run in because I see a couple of things that he's going to want to see. Like that guy. Right there. Radishes are so fun because they grow really fast. And it looks like we have thwarted the rabbits a little bit with this fence, but they can chew right through with ease. Look at these. I am so excited. I'm just as excited as he's going to be. But mostly that partner in crime right there. I love her with a fiery passion. It's barely hot. Barely hot. Right now it's breezy and beautiful. And I'm as red as those radishes. Hey Eli, you're gonna want to get some shoes on and come out to see your garden. Yeah, it's time. You want to be on camera or not? No, you can wear mine this time. On camera or not? Fine? Okay. Now I want you to see if you can tell which ones are ready. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. It's so humid. No, they're not all ready. So you'll just need to look and see if you can tell. Look at my little huntress in there. That's how we got radishes, man. There's one in particular that I was super impressed with.
That one?
Yes. Look at that thing.
Do I get to pull it?
Yeah, babe.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I have a few. Yeah.
It's teeny.
Is it? I mean, you don't have to. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, don't get the ones that aren't showing. And you've got a couple. Yeah, I think so. When they're poking out like that, I mean, come on. Look at that beauty. I love French breakfast. They're so cute. No, I think any of those.
This one?
Any of those that you feel like you want to go ahead and take.
Little tiny.
Nice. I don't think that's tiny. I think that's wonderful. There's one more. Yeah, that one could, or you could wait.
I'll do it.
Are you going to eat these?
I don't remember what they taste like.
They're spicy. right, he's getting excited now. Okay, and then I had a couple, mostly mine that are ready are not the sparklers.
Oh, look at this one. It's neat.
But there's a couple, like, yeah, that's a good one.
This one right here.
Where? Oh, yeah. I love the, oh, look how short it was. I love the French breakfast because they're just so pretty with the dual color. Do you see any sparklers that are ready?
It's got a sparkler.
I'm gonna eat these for dinner.
It's got a sparkler.
No, these are French breakfast. The sparklers are like your one big one that you got.
I got two of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think mine are still too small. So you definitely outdid me
See?
on speed. Really nice. Really nice. I'm excited. Yay us. Will you take all of them in because I've got to finish watering. That was worth every bit of effort and sweat. He loves to garden. And this is the first time I've given him his own space. You can see there's still so much to do out here. We only just got through winter, seriously, and it's already so hot I can't stand it during the day. But look at this right here. That is an asparagus fern, and so is that. 2 of the asparagus that I moved last year have decided to pop up. There was asparagus on the property when we moved here, and I moved half of it. The other half of it is right there. Right there. I need to take in one of those for my dinner. At least one. But I moved all of them into this trench right here, all the other half, and only 2 of them have shown any sign of being alive. So maybe it was a failure. Maybe they just haven't decided to grow yet. Oh, here's something funny. Okay, so we got tomatoes, also weeds. Today's not a weeding day. Look at that. That's a potato from last year. I guess I lost one, and it decided to not freeze over winter and just grow. Potatoes and tomatoes are the same family. Is that a tomato? Oh, is that a potato too? I think it might be. They're in the same family. They're in the nightshade family. Typically, you don't want to grow them in the same bed year after year, so you don't want to grow potatoes where tomatoes were, because some of their pests and diseases, particularly blight, are they're both susceptible to them. So you don't want to spread those things from year to year. You want to give the ground some time to recover. But I didn't have that many options this year because I needed to do a lot of tomatoes, and I always do a lot of potatoes. Your carrots and potatoes are so big. They look amazing. Well, that's the end of one gardening day. As usual, I didn't get as much done as I could have, as I wanted to, but I'm glad you were here with me, and I'm glad you saw some progress. Although tiny, it takes a lot of work to do gardening. If you do a little bit at a time, if you don't have huge chunks of time or really nice weather, do a little bit at a time, and eventually it will add up to something really beautiful. I'll see you guys next time. Can you go see if Essie can send me the file for her song that she wrote? I want to put it at the end of my videos this year.